The most surprising one-hit wonders of the 1970s. Not those songs that everyone knows about, but the tracks that shocked the charts, dominated the airwaves, and then, well, the artists were never heard from again. What makes these songs fascinating isn't just their quality, it's the mystery of why these clearly talented musicians couldn't replicate their success. While today's artists can manufacture viral moments on TikTok and manipulate streaming algorithms, these one-hit wonders of our era had to fight for radio play and album sales. No social media campaigns, no instant feedback, just raw talent meeting the right moment. Let's explore 5 of the most remarkable musical stars of the 1970s. In 1974, Jamaica-born, British-based Carl Douglas released what was originally intended as a B-side track. Kung Fu Fighting was reportedly recorded in just 10 minutes at the end of a session, almost an afterthought.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Nobody, least of all Douglas, could have predicted what happened next. The song exploded worldwide, selling over 11 million copies, reaching number 1 in both the UK and the US, and winning a Grammy Award. It rode the wave of martial arts mania, sweeping Western culture, fueled by Bruce Lee films and the popular Kung Fu TV series. But what makes this song truly surprising isn't just its unexpected success. It's the fact that Douglas was actually a serious soul musician. Before Kung Fu Fighting, he fronted a funk band called Gonzales and had released thoughtful, politically conscious music. After his massive hit, Douglas tried to escape being pigeonholed with follow-up singles like Dance the Kung Fu and Run Back, but nothing captured the public's imagination like his martial arts anthem. His record company kept pushing him to recreate the magic formula while refusing to promote his more substantial work. Douglas eventually returned to relative obscurity, becoming one of music history's most dramatic examples of an artist being swallowed by their own hit. The song that should have launched a long career instead effectively ended one. Today, streaming services will happily serve up Kung Fu Fighting to nostalgic listeners, but good luck finding Douglas's pre-hit material without some serious digging. It's a pattern we'll see repeatedly with these one-hit wonders, talented artists reduced to a single cultural moment. Sometimes, a hit song captures the cultural moment so perfectly that it's impossible to follow. That's exactly what happened with Mary MacGregor's Torn Between Two Lovers.
There are times when a woman has to say what's on her mind.
Released in 1976, this soft rock confession of infidelity hit number 1 on both the pop and adult contemporary charts. The song's premise, a woman admitting to her partner that she's in love with another man but wants to stay in the relationship, was controversial for its time. The song arrived during a period of massive social change in American relationships. The no-fault divorce was becoming widely available, the sexual revolution was in full swing, and traditional marriage was being questioned in ways it hadn't been before. MacGregor became the unexpected voice of complicated modern relationships. But once you've sung the definitive song about romantic ambivalence, where do you go from there? Despite releasing several follow-up singles and albums, nothing connected with audiences the same way. She had perfectly captured a specific emotional reality, and listeners weren't interested in hearing anything else from her. What many don't realize is that MacGregor was an accomplished musician who played with various folk groups before her hit. She continued recording through the early 1980s, showing considerable versatility, but the public had already filed her away under that cheating song from the 70s. Even more surprisingly, MacGregor herself wasn't particularly fond of Torn Between Two Lovers. In later interviews, she expressed frustration that a song about infidelity became her legacy when it didn't reflect her personal values. Imagine being forever associated with a sentiment you don't even endorse. Before we continue our journey, I want to hear from you. What memories did these songs bring back? Were you there when they dominated the airwaves, or did you discover them years later? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you have a personal story connected to any of these songs, I'd love to hear it. In the summer of 1978, a falsetto voice dominated American radio with a song that's simultaneously catchy and deeply disturbing when you actually listen to the lyrics. Nick Gilder's Hot Child in the City spent 3 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Stranger, dressed in black, she's a hungry child.
With its irresistible hooks and glam rock energy, it seemed like the perfect vehicle to launch a major career. But despite Gilder's undeniable talent, he never again reached such commercial heights in the U.S. What many listeners missed at the time was that beneath the upbeat melody, Gilder was singing about teenage prostitution. The Hot Child wasn't a celebration of youthful beauty, but a commentary on exploitation. The contrast between the song's dark subject matter and its radio-friendly production created a dissonance that was lost on most casual listeners. Before his solo hit, Gilder had actually achieved significant success as the frontman of the Canadian glam rock band Sweeney Todd. After leaving that group, he moved to Los Angeles to pursue a solo career, and Hot Child in the City should have been just the beginning. Gilder continued recording throughout the late 70s and 80s, and while he maintained a career as a songwriter, penning hits for artists like Patti Smith and Scandal, American audiences never embraced his subsequent work the same way. What's particularly interesting about Gilder is that, unlike many one-hit wonders, he had proven his ability to write hits both before and after his signature song. He wasn't a fluke talent. He was a legitimate rock star who, for whatever reason, couldn't translate his consistent songwriting ability into sustained chart success under his own name. In Canada, Gilder maintained a more substantial career, but in the U.S., he remains frozen in amber as the voice behind that catchy yet disturbing summer hit of 1978. It's a reminder that talent and even proven hit-making ability are no guarantee of lasting commercial success. Sometimes, the stars align for just one perfect moment. As the 1970s drew to a close, disco dominated the musical landscape, and in 1979, a French-born musician created what many consider the last great disco anthem before the genre's sudden commercial collapse. Patrick Hernandez's Born to Be Alive became a global phenomenon, selling over 15 million copies worldwide. The song topped charts in France, Italy, Spain, and numerous other countries, reaching number 16 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. What made Born to Be Alive stand out in the crowded disco marketplace was Hernandez himself. With his distinctive mustache, tailored suits, and commanding presence, he didn't fit the typical disco star mold. There was something almost intellectual about his approach. He wasn't just riding the disco wave, he seemed to be commenting on it while participating in it. The production of Born to Be Alive was impeccable, a perfect example of European disco's more sophisticated approach compared to American variations. The orchestration, the driving bass line, the strategic use of silence. It all came together in a track that still fills dance floors nearly half a century later. Here's the twist in Hernandez's story. He never wanted to be a pop star. Before Born to Be Alive, he had spent years playing in rock bands and paying his dues in the French music scene. The disco hit was almost an experiment, a detour that unexpectedly became a superhighway. After his massive success, Hernandez tried to follow up with singles like I Give You Rendezvous, but nothing captured the same magic. Rather than chase diminishing returns, he made a surprising decision. He essentially retired from performing and focused on investing his royalties. In a fascinating footnote to music history, when Hernandez was enjoying his global success, his record company asked him to mentor a young, unknown American dancer who was trying to break into the music business. That dancer was Madonna Louise Ciccone. Yes, the Madonna who would go on to become one of the biggest stars in music history. Hernandez represents something we rarely see in today's music industry, an artist who had one massive hit, recognized the fickle nature of fame, and chose to walk away rather than desperately chase a second act. There's something admirably self-aware about that decision. We'll close with perhaps the most surprising one-hit wonder of them all, a Jewish man from Massachusetts who created one of the most recognizable Christian-themed rock songs in history. Norman Greenbaum's Spirit in the Sky, with its unforgettable fuzz guitar intro and religious lyrics, reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1970. The song has since been featured in over 30 major films, countless TV shows, and commercials, becoming one of the most licensed songs of the era. What makes Greenbaum's one-hit status so perplexing is the sheer quality and distinctiveness of Spirit in the Sky. This wasn't a novelty track or a song that captured a fleeting cultural moment. It was a genuinely innovative piece of music that blended psychedelic rock with gospel themes in a way nobody had quite managed before. Before his hit, Greenbaum had been part of the jug band Dr. West's Medicine Show and Junk Band, scoring a minor hit with the quirky The Eggplant That Ate Chicago. After Spirit, he released several follow-up singles and albums, but nothing connected commercially. Greenbaum has stated that he wrote Spirit in the Sky in just 15 minutes after watching Porter Wagoner sing a gospel song on television. Despite being Jewish, he decided to write a Christian song because Jesus is a good guy and the theme would resonate with audiences. The irony of Greenbaum's situation is that while he only had one hit, that single song has provided him with a lifetime of income through licensing deals. In interviews, he seems at peace with his one-hit wonder status, recognizing that he created something that has stood the test of time in ways most artists never achieve. And there you have it. What these songs share isn't just their brief moment of massive popularity, but their lasting cultural impact. Decades later, they continue to resonate, appearing in films, commercials, and playlists, outliving many of the serious artists of their era. So, next time you hear one of these tracks, don't think, whatever happened to them? Instead, appreciate the rare magic of that perfect convergence of artist, song, and cultural moment, an alignment of stars that, by definition, couldn't be repeated. If you enjoyed this look back, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more musical explorations, and I'll see you in the next video.